Capricorn family in Popo Side Frequency with Complexion and Mpomashita. It's the 5th of October 2023. Happy World Teachers Day to those on pension, to Bomenier Libo Mistress in the staff room right now or in the class doing their thing.
Wow.
You are changing the world, and we say a happy one to you. We have our teacher in property joining us this morning. Philip Skuman is going to be teaching us about property. So this morning, if there's one thing we can agree on, is that the crime levels in this country are crazy. People's homes are being broken into almost on a daily. You know, it might have not gotten to you yet, but it's coming.
Wow. Thanks for the insurance complexion.
So we are going to be looking at the key things when it comes to arming your property. And Philip Skuman is joining us this morning. He's a broker and founder of REMAX. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, guys.
Happy Thursday.
Yeah, thank you as well to you.
Sure.
Obviously, what do we do with regards to stopping crime?
Really? You have an answer to that? Why, Philip?
Well, I actually
Zoom
do.
in, please, guys.
I actually do, but it's not something we can do with regards to property.
But do you think that there are some properties that are more prone to be broken into?
What we've been finding in the last 2-3 years is properties where it seems like there's restraint or fewer activity, or where there's not a lot of cars coming in and out, not a lot of activity. A lot of times where clients end up moving out of the house because we're in the process of selling, or and now it's just that the couple of days between occupation and registration, so usually in those couple of days the properties are at a high risk of being ransacked, and then the guys come in and it's non-violent crimes. They steal copper pipes, they steal taps, they steal bathtubs if it's steel bathtub.
Oh wow.
So now you got to revamp the bathroom, because that's going to cost you about 60 to 80, 100K maybe, depending on your taste.
Before you even move in.
Before you even moved in. And remember, you just bought a property.
Sure.
So you don't have money. You are broke. You just pay transfer costs.
Sure.
So that's the problem. Now, usually, luckily, this is covered by your homeowner's insurance. So you'll be able to, but it's time, and time is money. So especially your freestanding houses, but it's not that if you were inside an estate and there's a vacant house that you won't be ransacked. What we find is that the guys usually operate from within the estate. So,
Yeah, well, I remember when I went property viewing, there was a water pump there. And when I moved in, the water pump was gone.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yep. And
Someone took their time
Guys,
and brought a grinder with them, and they took it out. Like, for
It's-
real. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't have money. I've just moved in, and I'm like,
You saw a water pump,
I'm just
did you
living
like-
this thing.
Oh my goodness.
and that comes down to parenting as well, because unfortunately a lot of these crimes inside estates are caused by teenagers.
No ways.
Yeah, well, they're at home in the afternoon, they're running around. Your gates aren't locked there inside an estate. Many houses don't even have gates.
Little bastards.
Yes.
Sometimes you're thinking about arming your property and you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is going to cost an arm and a leg. But are there inexpensive ways to try and, arm your property?
Well, we gotta look at what is expensive and what is inexpensive when it comes to securing your home. And people would rather pay a 2,000 or a 2,500 rand levy with the mindset of safety. But I can tell you now, if you could spend 500 rand a month on your security on a bonded, if you just add that extra 50 or 100, and now you can put up things like beams, camera systems. The idea is to deter a criminal before they even have touched your house. Okay, so let's say it's a violent crime, and somebody breaks into your house. Before they've even touched it, the alarm's already going off. That puts them under pressure. Now they've got to still find a way in. Then they've still got to find something to steal and still find their way out, and hopefully, get away scot-free.
Sure.
But what I find is that a lot of our criminals are not necessarily that hardened, if you will.
Okay.
Well, we can put it down to society as being weak. Nobody is achieving,
Wow.
even the criminals. Yeah, so in the vast majority of cases, you find that they're looking for something to steal, they're looking for something to sell. Second-hand water pumps, you'll find the tank is a bit heavy to carry, so that'll stay.
Yeah.
But the pump will go, the copper piping will go, because copper piping has a second-hand value.
Sure.
You know, and yeah, I would say beams, dogs, lights at night. Lights up your yard space, because you know these days you're finding a lot of cheap lighting with LED technology and whatnot. So now you can light up your whole yard with 20 watts per hour. It's not a lot, and depending on the size of your yard, of course.
Yeah.
But I've been finding that lit up yards never get broken into, and this is just an observation. There's no statistic on this. Well, there probably is, but they won't share it.
Yeah.
But a well-lit yard and a yard with dogs. To give you an example, the other day we have we've actually started an initiative with street WhatsApp groups for all our clients. So, well, not just all our clients, the community at large. We're still busy implementing. So you'll be added to a WhatsApp group, and the idea is to get public participation up, because this is a very cheap way of deterring crime. Okay, and it doesn't cost anything, and that's why we decided to do it.
Yeah.
So we're currently busy rolling out and adding everyone in the street on a group, on that streets group, and then we also have an area group. So you'll be on two. So let's say you'll be on Commandant Lombard Street, and you'll be on the Welgelegen group. And we're rolling this out later on for Mokopane as well, and Zanin. So the idea is now with public participation, and I'm going to use a specific example. It happened 2 weeks ago on Sunday. We had guys up and down our street, nobody knew about them. So quickly it was reported on the WhatsApp group, everybody had a look, and I personally went home from where I was just to go and check, because it was very suspicious activity. And I drove there immediately, saying to the guys on WhatsApp, listen, I'm on my way. And as I stopped there, 5 minutes later, everybody was coming out. So it increased the vigilance of the group, of the street. And now criminals will see, we can't target the street. They're too vigilant. They knew about us before we knew about them.
That's amazing.
So that's something that's very cheap and ineffective. And to give you an example, those same guys were walking down the street 2 days prior. And
so you're able to pick up if there's like a...
Yes, we saw them. And they actually stopped out of one of my neighbor's gates. And as they stood there by the gate opened because the owner arrived at the house. And the guys were arrogantly saying, no dogs, ne?
Oh, wow.
And then they laughed, and then
they passed. So you're wondering if people are sort of like...
So what's that going to do to you?
Yeah, I hear you.
Emotionally, it's like, it's a breakdown.
True that.
So
that's how we wrap up the conversation today, looking about how to arm and secure your home. It's 20 minutes after 8, and thank you so much, Philip, for joining us as usual. Broker and owner of REMAX, Philip Skuman.